Karma sure has its way of paying off deeds, or should we say misdeeds. Diddy probably thought he had it all figured out, a perfect game where he always wins. But life doesn't work that way, does it? Maybe he regrets forgetting the pain he caused, destroying lives, families, and dreams. As if his own was untouchable. Sins are tempting, almost magnetic until the bill comes due. And now, as the holidays bring warmth, joy, and family togetherness, Diddy sits cold and alone behind bars. Sean Diddy Combs, a name that has been there in the Hall of Fame since we don't even remember. In the 90s or in the early 2000s, you couldn't escape him. He was the kingpin of hip-hop, producing hits for artists like the Notorious B.I.G., making millions and building an empire. He was the spotlight. But, as we all know, sometimes life has a way of throwing a curveball when you least expect it. That perfect life came crashing down. Diddy found himself in a situation he never thought he'd be in, locked up behind bars at the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center. From throwing the wildest parties to being stuck in a small cold cell, it's a fall from grace. The time of year when everyone's supposed to be with their families, celebrating and feeling warm inside, Diddy is there, isolated and cold behind bars, with no family gatherings, no luxury dinners, just him and his regrets. It's hard to imagine the high-flying mogul in the cold gray walls of Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center. Diddy spending his first Christmas behind bars was like living a nightmare. When his repeated requests for bail were denied, reality started to settle in. He broke down, unable to accept the harsh reality of his situation. As Christmas approached, the weight of what he was about to miss, his family and his children, hit him hard. With all of this sadness and depression, Diddy still tries to remain strong and focused on his defense. He was meditating and practicing deep breathing exercises to stay grounded, trying to maintain the air of determination he's known for. However, the truth is much harder to ignore. Diddy may have tried to put on a brave face for the world, but those who saw him firsthand noticed the toll his confinement was taking on him. He appeared thinner and pale, with a kind of grayish hue that suggested the stress was starting to break through his otherwise tough exterior. The man who once looked invincible was now feeling the full weight of the consequences of his actions. And then came Christmas, the most challenging time of all. The supposedly happy time of the year was cold, isolated, and full of regret for Diddy. While his family did their best to stay connected, the distance between them remained a painful reality. Diddy's 7 children, ranging from age from 1 to 33, tried to maintain communications with him as much as possible during his time in prison. Despite their efforts, the absence of their father at the family table was undeniable. His daughters, Delilah and Jessie, were about to turn 18, a milestone that would usually be filled with celebration. But this year, their father won't be there to wish them well, to hug them, or to join in the family festivities. Though inmates are allowed visitors during the holidays, the visits are short, only 30 to 60 minutes long. A federal prison consultant explained that these interactions can be emotionally draining, as inmates are left to face the cold reality of their situation once their family members leave. Diddy was now counting down the minutes until he could see his family again, knowing that when they left, he would be left alone with his thoughts and regrets. But something happened that no one quite expected. In the days leading up to Christmas, life behind bars wasn't entirely boring. Inmates were allowed to play sports, watch TV, or attend religious services to help pass the time. But no amount of basketball or games could replace the love and support of family, something Diddy would have given anything to experience on that special day. For Christmas, the prison menu was hardly something to look forward to. Breakfast consisted of fruit, cereal, and skim milk. Nothing like the lavish holiday meals Diddy was used to. But things got even worse by dinner, where he and other inmates would be served basic, uninspiring meals. His lunch consisted of Cornish hen or barbecue tofu, macaroni and cheese, spinach, cranberry sauce, and dinner rolls. Christmas dinner includes 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, potato chips, and fruit, a far cry from the gourmet meals he'd once enjoyed. For dessert, a holiday sweet treat was included. Not exactly the festive spread Diddy would have imagined. Sure, it was food, but it wasn't what his heart craved. It was just another reminder of how far he'd fallen from the life he once knew. Even in prison, he was trying to stay connected with his kids, who were doing their best to reach out to him. His family was trying to speak with him as much as they could, but no phone call, no letter, no visit could replace the time he was losing with them. His future hangs in the balance, and he knows it. Each passing day behind bars is another step closer to what could be a very different life, depending on what the trial holds. Will he be able to see the outside world again? Or will the weight of the charges against him prove too much to overcome? As for his fellow inmates, Diddy wasn't alone in his suffering. He shared a unit with Sam Bankman-Fried, the infamous crypto fraudster, another man with a high-profile case hanging over him. It's likely that, on Christmas Day, the two of them sat together, eating their prison meals and reminiscing about the worlds they once known. For all their power and influence, both were now trapped in the same place, far from their families, far from the life they once led. As the calendar flipped to the new year, Diddy continued to face an unrelenting battle, both inside the prison walls and in the courtrooms. Since his arrest on September 16th, he has been enduring the consequences of his misdeeds, which have thrown him into a cold cell. Diddy's initial hopes for a quick release were dashed as his bail requests were rejected not once, but 3 times. The media speculated that with his legal team's support, he would be out by the time Christmas rolled around. But those hopes were quickly quashed, and he found himself stuck in a nightmare scenario, forced to spend the holiday season behind bars. Desperate for relief, Diddy allegedly pleaded with prison guards to take him to the hospital for observation, a request that was swiftly denied. Stuck in his cell and unable to escape the overwhelming sense of loss, the once confident mogul had a meltdown. With no other options at his disposal, Diddy turned inward and attempted to calm his nerves. Spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him, insiders close to Diddy shared. His legal team's defense, however, portrayed a different image of Diddy, emphasizing his strength despite the emotional strain. Christmas in jail was, as expected, a far cry from the usual celebrations Diddy enjoyed with his children. As he faced the new year, Diddy had little to look forward to in terms of his freedom. His trial, which will address a multitude of charges, including stalking and racketeering, was scheduled for May 2025. A long wait in the desolate confinement of the Brooklyn NDC. And as the new year began, so did the endless legal proceedings that would mark the year ahead. Over 100 lawsuits have been filed against Diddy and his legal team led by Eric Wolf. remained firm in their defense of the mogul. Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he sexually anyone, including minors, Wolf stated. The ongoing legal battles seemed endless, and the mogul's legal team was determined to clear his name and bring the truth to light. Yet, despite his legal team's insistence on Diddy's innocence, the rapper's physical and mental state seemed to have worsened. Diddy was still adjusting to his new life behind bars, while he participated in card games and basketball during recreation time. It was clear that the lifestyle he had once known was now a distant memory. As the countdown to his trial continued, Diddy's legal team pushed to speed up the trial date, hoping to get to court as soon as possible. They argued that the prolonged detention was an unfair burden on their client and that a swift resolution would be in everyone's best interest. However, Judge Aaron Subramanian repeatedly denied Diddy's bail requests, citing his potential danger to public safety. Despite these setbacks, Diddy's legal team remained confident that they would ultimately prevail. He looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court, Wolf stated, repeating that the truth would be revealed based on evidence, not media speculation. The uncertainty surrounding Diddy's future looms large as his trial date approaches. Christmas in jail was a horrifying experience for him, but it may only be the beginning of a much longer, more confused journey. But what do you think? Will Diddy celebrate his next Christmas with his family in luxury? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to uncover more secrets behind his downfall, check out our other videos. Don't forget to subscribe.